Oi! So the weekend just gone, I had a Aussie Movie Marathon and I watched a whole bunch of films, Aussie films, some that I'd seen, some that I hadn't seen. So I'm just going to go through the marathon that I had and say I think a little bit about each film. So I started off and I watched Diemens Land. Diemens Land being the sort of early settler convict name for Tasmania. So it's basically about these convicts in Tasmania who break away from the guards and try to make it on their own across into the Tasmanian wilderness. And they've only got so much food to begin with. And, the whole scheme isn't that very well planned, I guess. And it's just basically a survival movie. It's about six or seven odd men trying to make it in this harsh environment. And it's meant to be based on a true story of one of the guys is meant to be a notorious convict, Alexander Pierce. So he's one of the characters in it. And so basically it's beautifully shot, this film. Tasmania's got some really, really beautiful scenery and there's some lovely imagery in this, but at the same time it's really harsh, cold, sort of brutal landscape at the same time. So it is basically their survival. I won't say too much about it. The whole movie's just got this really cold tone about it the whole way through. I enjoyed it. I'm not 100% sure what I thought of it. It's definitely a pretty film, but yeah, I almost need to watch this again, I think, to really, really get into it. But anyone that wants to check out a film about convicts, Tasmania, Australia, definitely check this out. It's interesting, really interesting sort of film, really beautiful film. And it is actually, as well as the scenery, it has some really brutal elements to it too. Like you can imagine 7 men, low on food in a really harsh environment trying to survive. It's going to be a brutal film, and it is. So check that one out. I rate that. Even though I still think I need to watch it again. I feel like I need to watch it again. I don't think I took everything in the first time. Then from there I went to this double feature. I watched The Cars That Ate Paris. Paris being a little town in Australia. And it's a wacky film, The Cars That Ate Paris. Really cheesy. It's kind of got... Parts of it are a bit like Herschel Gordon Lewis's 2000 Maniacs. It's like a little town out of the way, off the beaten track, that has just gone mad, absolutely, over the top. All the characters in it are just, there's screws loose all throughout this town. And then there's a whole bunch of wackos that drive around in these crazy cars. The town's trying to promote people to come into the town, and these cars are... Anyway, just watch it. It's a mad film. If you like Ozploitation films, old 80s, it might be 70s, 80s, Ozploitation, 78 films, and cheesy sort of horrors, I reckon you'll really dig The Cars That Ate Paris. It's a pretty weird film. And then this other film, The Plumber, and I'd seen this years ago on VHS as a kid, and I thought it was fantastic the first time I watched it, and it was great again. It's basically about a guy, whether he's a plumber or poses as a plumber, it's a bit unsure, but he just basically manipulates situations, and he comes into this lady's house and basically takes over, and it's sort of not quite a home invasion film, but it is in sorts. There's no killing or blood or anything like that. It's just about this invasion of this poor lady's world, basically, and fantastic film. I can't rate that highly enough. It was really interesting watch. If you like Ozploitation again, I think this would be 70 odd, 70, 80s, I don't know. But that's another one to pick up, The Plumber. It's great. From there I went to this piece of trash. This is a newer film. It's called The Nullarbor Nymph, and it is just trash. Oh, this is terrible. It's I rate Black Devil Doll as my worst film of all time, and I reckon this is pretty damn close. It's basically about a legend of the Nullarbor Nymph, a half-naked lady that runs around and seduces men out in the Nullarbor Plain in Australia. And then it's just ridiculous. It's meant to be like a comedy documentary type thing, like a fake mockumentary sort of thing. and it's just, wow. It's super low budget. It's beyond cheesy. I probably wouldn't recommend this to anyone unless you're really, really into your trash. Maybe pick it up, but man, it's not a good film. And I don't mind a bit of trash. From there, I went to The Loved Ones, and I'm sure a lot of people have know about this film or have seen it. It's a good Aussie film, man. I remember watching this when it first came out at the movie theatres. Don't know, it wasn't that long ago, probably in the last 10 years, 2009. And it's basically about this young lady. It's about a bunch of school kids and a prom coming up, and this lady with a lot of screws loose, basically taking this guy prisoner. It's a bit of a torture sort of film. And I remember when I saw it at the movie theatres, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but there was something about it that didn't quite hit the mark. It was close. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I watched it again. I enjoyed it. And it was the same as when I first watched Wolf Creek at the movie theatres years ago. I really enjoyed Wolf Creek, but once again, for some reason, didn't hit the mark. I can't quite explain it. But anyway, it is a good Aussie film. I would definitely recommend checking it out if you like watching Aussie films and haven't seen too many of them. This is one to put high on your list. But yeah, don't know. It's a good film. And then the grand finale was Long Weekend, and this has got to be one of my all-time favourite Ozploitation films. It's from the 70s as well. I'm not sure when. 70s, maybe early 80s. I think it's 70s. And this is a brilliant film. I watched this years ago on VHS, and it was just a delight to watch again the other weekend. And it's basically about a couple who are going through some troubles, and they go out camping for a long weekend. And it's one of those, they're not really treating nature well, throwing cigarettes out the window, and, they hit a roo on the way, and, the guy's out with a gun shooting animals in the ocean, and basically they're disrespecting the environment, and then nature sort of fights back. But there's a little bit more to it. It's just it's a super creepy film, really creepy, and it like I said, I'd say this is my favourite Ozploitation film, Long Weekend. It actually got remade in the last 5 to 10 years, and the remake is almost as equally as good as the original. I would rate, someone picking up the original or the remake. They're fantastic films, really creepy. And there's these, anyway, I won't say too much about it, but basically if I was going to recommend any Ozploitation film to you guys, pick up Long Weekend. It's fantastic. So yeah, that was my Aussie weekend of marathon. If I was going to suggest ones to watch, I probably already said it, but go Long Weekend, go The Plumber, and go Diemens Land. They were probably the three, the ones the cream that rose to the top. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and if you like Aussie films, just there's a couple of recommendations for you. Thanks for watching, and see ya.